Start with you first, Wing Commander Sudhakaran. What do you make of these big developments that have panned out through the day today with, of course, Meta officials being summoned by the union government, appearing before them, and also the climb down that we've seen from the social media giant ever since this controversy broke?
The things have started showing out. We have now started paying up for what actions we have not taken in the last 15, 20 years. This is something that we always knew that it was coming, and it was not that the establishment was not briefed. Maybe was briefed, and I'm telling you, I personally briefed them, that this is going to increase. What you saw in Delhi last month, the cockroaches which were almost about to enter the parliament, was thanks to Meta's Instagram and WhatsApp. 20 million followers in 1 week, that is an algorithm which got biased to prop up a case which, probably they put up a social cause. I am for that. Yes, we need to cleanse the system up. But that was not what happened in Delhi. 2,800 criminals dawned into that. Who was behind it? Meta was behind it. And Meta has been doing this not once. 2024, they paid 250 crore fine. That was what they were penalized for. In fact, when we were in IIM Bangalore, one of our professors used to say that, these social media giants would go walk up to government offices and tell them, what is the fine that we need to pay for the next year? You please tell us, we are more than happy to pay. If we think that we can create a law and we can actually bridle these monsters, we are sadly mistaken. These are deep state agents. They have been unleashed on India with a purpose, and that is why China, as early as 1998, started the Great Golden Shield program. That's why you don't see any of these work there. India should have done that, because today Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram knows exactly where you sit, who is sitting on the wall, who is vulnerable, and it can target and poison the minds with targeted information, peddled information, and propaganda which suits the Western narrative. When the 2020 riots happened in Delhi, you just go and look at the narrative that was shared in Twitter and in Facebook. It was made to look as this country of majority, which incidentally was on the receiving end. Today, there is a counselor who has got just recently penalized and punished for that. But what was the narrative that was being peddled? This government is to be held accountable for it, not because they are not standing up to it, because they're not coming up with the right policies. We should have pursued an indigenous social media program policy. I'm just asking one question to the audience today. What if Meta showed two fingers today? If they said, no, I'm not apologizing, what would have happened? If the country would have dared to ban them, thinking that they would have hit on their revenue, I'm telling you, these cockroaches plus the opposition parties would have said that they are stifling your right of free speech, of social media, and the influencers who are willing to sell the credentials of the Indian Army, the RAF, the security forces, just for virality, will again go sit there and will bring the government back to the knees. That is what is potentially likely to happen. You're sitting on a tinder box. And that is why I urge the government, better late than never, start a plan. I'm not asking to create another Facebook against a Facebook. But can we do something better? We can. The problem is the government doesn't allow people to work. For this, you need state support, you need policy backing, and you need a hell of a lot of money to do it. What is Meta's revenue from the digital platform? I had flagged this in 2021 to the Defense Cyber Agency as well as the National Security Council. The digital advertisement market revenue in India is 90,000 crores. This 90,000 crores is fueling, funding, agents which are acting against the interest of India. And now comes the new angle called AGI. The complete data stream today, the real-time data pipeline, you are giving Sarvam, just about 4,000 odd GPUs and asking them to build a frontier model. Where will those poor guys build it from? You need real-time data pipelines, you need a nationwide architecture, and you need investments of the order of at least 5 lakh crores. You are not willing to take a decision on any of these things. You are more interested in the legacy distribution of freebies, The only hope that we have is in this government, and this government will be targeted if they are found wanting on both the IT and the AI front. That's all that I have to say. And if we don't open our eyes, if we don't read the red flag today,
Yes.
Today the cockroaches have announced one more thing, that they are going getting into social.
Let me bring you right, Commander Sudhakaran, that same question to you. Is the IT Act strong enough? Does it need to be strengthened further, or is it about the implementation? Again, something you have also been speaking about in previous instances as well.
See, first you will have to understand, everyone is asking this question, whether India can punish Meta. The answer is outright no, and better we understand this as a country. If we think we can do that, we are living in a fool's paradise, and I'll tell you why. The global revenue of Meta is 200 odd billion all over the world. From India, they raised something like 2.7, and that is the best reported figure, which is 1.3% of their revenue, just about 1.3%. So economically, it doesn't hurt them. The user base, yes, it is 1/5 of the world user base, but mind you, it is only generating 1.3% of the revenue. Why Meta is here is for an altogether a very different purpose, because strategically the US looks at it from a very different angle. Mind you, the same US supports the Pakistani nuclear program, which is targeted against India. This is another kind of a program which is to keep India in leash. Indian government needs to understand it. Our strategic think tank needs to understand this. So first, please understand that we cannot punish Meta. Second is, even if you try to take penal action, say ban Meta, it's not happening, because 65% of this country will be on streets, guided by the opposition, anti-nationals who are sitting into the parliament. I've just heard one MP tell Meta that you don't need to kneel down in front of the government. We will support you. You all know who that MP is. Now, if that is the kind of unity that we have in the parliament for something that they have done against the constitutional authority of this country, I think we have a case to do something drastically different. Can you legislate and get your way out of it? The answer is no. There is no law that can curb any AI or any technology, whatever you can do. You can probably extract penalties out of it.
Right.
They will pay, they will go. Second thing I want to complete is, you can only get out of this by building your way out of it. And that is something where India needs to concentrate.